What's up, everybody? Hope you all had a great day. Getting into this episode of GH. This was another phenomenal episode. Um, it was so good to see Erica Slazak, even for a brief moment. Because of course she came in at the last part of the episode. I loved, even though it was brief, I loved the little scene that she had with Tracy. And she was like, "Oh, I've been waiting years to meet you." I was like, "Oh, y'all about to have a showdown? What's going on?" I have a feeling she's definitely playing Monica's sister. I have that feeling. I don't know if she is or not, but I would think she has to be playing a sibling because why else would she be there? You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't make any other sense but to be playing Monica's long lost sister. But anywho, it's sad that she already wrapped her filming, but I knew that she was only coming in for a guest arc, like it was going to be a very short stay. I don't blame Erica Slazak because I read, snippets of her interview and stuff like that where she talked about her coming onto the show, and she was like, "Oh, it was good, but it was exhausting." I said, "Uh huh." I know, it wasn't that easy for her to slip back into the daytime world. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you haven't done it in a little while, it could be nerve wracking, to get back up in that. So I'm not surprised that she's not going to do this full time. I don't blame her because at her age, I do not fault her. That lady is 79, and I believe she still lives on the East Coast. So there's no way she's about to be going back and forth to do this show. And I'm pretty sure at this stage in life, she is not trying to be reading no long ass scripts. She ain't got time for that. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. I'm just glad that they got her in for a guest arc. You know what I mean? Because it was so good to see her. And even by the tone of her voice in this, you could definitely see that it seems like she's not going to be playing that Vicky Lord type of character. Like, this is definitely going to be something different. And I'm interested to see, like, what's going on with her. You know, her and Monica's relationship and whatnot. Like, I want to hear her story, like her side of the story and what happened all these years and whatnot, and why it took her so long to pop her behind it. That's what I want to know. But I know her scenes with Jane are going to be freaking awesome. I know they're going to be phenomenal, and it's going to be a hot mess. So anyway, moving on from that, I'm glad Gio is starting to come around. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he finally had a conversation with Tracy, to extend his condolences. And I'm also glad that he sees that different side of the Qs. You know what I mean? Because he was like, even he admitted that he saw another side to them, beyond the drama. And he was actually proud to be a part of that family and proud to be her great grandson. Because I'm like, absolutely. Like, yes, the Qs have a lot of baggage. Yes, they are drama. Yes, they are extra. But when the chips are down, they're there for each other. They got each other's back. Even when they're angry at each other or whatever, trust, if you get into a situation, they're going to be right there to try to help you get up out of that shit. That's just how they do. And I'm hoping that Gio will continue to speak with them and give them a chance, be a part of that family. And I'm also happy that he got a moment with Ned finally, because I've been waiting for that, for Ned to finally have a conversation with his grandson. And it was so funny because Dante was going to go talk to him. He was going to approach him because, Dante was nervous, walking up a little slow, about to approach him. And I don't know, but I felt like Gio purposefully stopped Ned to talk with him because he knew Dante was about to come over, because it looked like he caught Dante about to walk over out of the corner of his eye, and he stopped Ned on purpose so he wouldn't have to have awkward conversation with Dante. Because you see the way Dante saw that and he walked away, he just like brushed the back of his head with his hand and walked away like on some sly shit. That was funny. But I'm glad that Ned and Gio had that moment, and they talked about his music and stuff and how they bonded over their love of music. And it was so funny because Ned was like, "Well, you did get that from, you got your musical talents from me." That was hilarious. And I love that they both laughed about it. I can't wait for Olivia to, have some scenes with him and they talk and whatnot. Because Olivia, she had a feeling he was going to come. She was hoping that he would. because Dante was a little anxious. He didn't think he was gonna come, to the house or whatever. But she was like, "Listen, if he could come to the church and pay his respects, chances are he gonna come here." She even had some of his favorite foods that she made or whatever. That she wanted Dante to pull out. I love that Olivia gave the staff the day off. She just wanted this to be intimate, just the family, no staff. And she even put Dante butt to work, had him serving. I was a little hesitant about Olivia joining the Qs when her and Ned first got married and whatnot. I was a little hesitant about that. But she definitely fits in with the family, and I'm glad that she realized that she fits in, because she married into the family. She found her place in that family, which is good. She's definitely a natural fit. She handles the drama and the chaos in that family pretty well because you have to in order to fit in with them. But Lucy, Lord have mercy. Lucy. So tacky. So tacky. Yo, she literally came up to Michael and said, "Oh, what about Monica's will?" Michael said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Her will. What about the house? Who's going to get the house? Are you guys going to sell it?" This heifer is over here trying to work on a commission. Felicia had to drag her ass out of there. I know Felicia was so tired of her because Felicia literally had to be her handler the entire funeral. Felicia was like, "These people are mourning." She said, "You don't come do that." She said, "You don't do that. They're mourning. They're grieving." The way she had to drag her up out of here. Listen, Lucy is so tacky. It was so funny, but so tacky. Even Michael was chuckling over there about it. I would have been laughing my ass off too, because the nerve. How you gonna sit here and ask these people? How you gonna ask him that question? His grandmother barely in the ground, and you really gonna ask that question about a damn will in the house? Lucy, go on somewhere. I know Felicia was so embarrassed. I know Felicia was like, "Go get your purse and let's go so I could take you home." Because I know I can't take you nowhere. Get your purse and let's go. I would have dragged her about that house like, "Girl, I'm dropping you off." I would have dropped her off and went and got me a cocktail because no. Lucy is too damn much worried about some damn will. Girl, if you don't go on somewhere. The nerve. That was so tacky but funny. Seriously. It was sad though that all the kids couldn't come to the funeral because they pretty much made it. Michael and Tracy made the decision to make it an adult only memorial service because they felt like it was fair to Scout because Scout couldn't come because of Drew's dumbass restraining order. So they felt like, well, since Scout can't come, let's just make it adult themed, just the adults. I felt like that was fair. You know what I mean? It sucks that they couldn't be there, but at least they can go to the family crypt and pay their respects later. So I feel like that was a fair thing to do. And it was a good explanation as to why none of them could be there. I'm not surprised Jay couldn't make it since he's, I believe, in Spain. So it's not surprising he couldn't hop on a plane and get here. That's not surprising at all. But I felt bad for Laura because this is hitting Laura pretty hard too. To keep losing people, people that you've known for decades. Like Laura, she was just a ball. She was just a ball of tears, because she known Monica for a long damn time. And, she knew how much Monica loved people and cared about people. Like Monica's demise has touched a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like even when Monica was here on Earth, she touched a lot of people's lives. She inspired a lot of people. A lot of people had so much respect for her. And, these are memories of her that people are going to cherish. I loved all the flashbacks that they did today. Like, the flashbacks were freaking amazing. We need more of them. But it was dope to see. And Lulu wasn't wrong, though, because she was like, if Jason want to tip out, the family will understand. But I love Jason's response to that because, it's typical of Jason to be like, all right, let me go for a minute, go get on my motorbike and go on somewhere. But I love his response to it. He said, no, I'm going to stay. He said, I spent too much time away. And I respect that. He wants to be with the family. Like, he has his moments where he wants to go off and be by himself for a moment, but I love that he's been around the family more during this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been there because they need that. He needs that. I'm glad he's embracing them more. And I know he has a lot of regrets because he probably feel like he spent so many years pushing them away. And, he's trying to make up for that now at the very least. Like, lately he's been making that, making up for that. And he has a lot of regrets. But that scene of him going on the stairs and, saying he gonna always love his mom and all that type of stuff, that was a beautiful scene. Like, Steve Burton has been killing it. Jane Elliott has been killing it. Like, everybody's been killing the game. They have been knocking the story out the park. They really have. And I love that Jason has had a couple of scenes with Liz so far. They need to have more because I feel like their lack of scenes kind of shows the lack of respect to them as friends and as a couple, as a former couple, who shared a rich history. And it sucks because they should be allowed to have scenes together on a regular basis. But I'm glad Liz was there, to give him a hug and be there as a support system. I need more of that from them. Because they make it seem like Liz can't be around an ex unless it's her pining away for the ex or the ex still pining away for her. That's not realistic because a lot of exes are very good friends. They're better friends than lovers. They make better friends. So it's, it would be refreshing to see her around Jason more, because they can be just platonic friends, who happen to share a child. They can do that without it being, like, oh, they might get back together again. No, it doesn't have to always be that. You can be friends with an ex without thinking that. You sure can. And they need to write more of that. Every ex that come back to town ain't trying to get you back. That's not always realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can come back and still be friends with you. Like, come on now. Drew is a piece of trash. Let me just say, Drew, before I even get on that bastard, I love that, they got the Q's went into the kitchen, a lot of them went in the kitchen and had, talked about Monica and their memories of her. And Gio, I love that he was sitting there soaking it all up, and listening to the stories and asking about it and, wanting Jason to tell his stories and stuff. That was a beautiful moment. I love seeing stuff like that. And I love the toast that they did to Monica in the living room. That was beautiful. I'm glad that BLQ is optimistic about her son coming around and stuff like that because, like she said, it's baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day. Her relationship with Gio is not, going to turn around and, with a snap of a finger. It's going to take some time, but at least he's coming around. You know what I mean? That's a start. But yeah, Drew, I was so happy when Tracy grabbed his little handles on his wheelchair because she was like, listen, your name is Drew Kane. She was like, you is not a Quartermaine. Your name is Kane. Did y'all see the way Jason stood up? Jason was on go mode. Jason forgot where he was. He forgot he was in the church because that man jumped up. He was about to get active. Oh, Jason was about to get active. That man was war ready. He was about to throw down on Drew. Tracy had to jump up and stop him. She said, no, let me handle that. She was like, your presence is not required. It is not desired. She said it's actually very much detested, so you need to go. She wheeled that man right on up out of there. She said, you need to go on, get up out of here. Nobody wants you here. You're not needed. I love Tracy's speech. I loved her speech about Monica because when she first met Monica, of course she didn't think Monica was good enough to be a Quartermaine, but Monica proved her wrong throughout the years, and I love how Tracy let it be known that throughout all their battles and all their fussing with each other, that was like their love language. You know what I'm saying? Them cussing each other out, talking shit to each other, that was their way of saying I love you. It grew to be that. You know what I'm saying? They grew to have that love for each other, that respect for each other, even when they got on each other's damn nerve. And I love how Tracy was like, she gonna fight for Monica's legacy. She's always gonna, let it be known that that's Monica's house and Alan gave it to her. She was like, as long as she lived, ain't that's not changing. And I feel like all this talk about the mansion is very foreshadowing. I feel like it is. I feel like that will reading is going to be a hot mess, and that mansion is going to probably go to somebody it shouldn't go to. Because Drew bitch ass, he was sitting there pissed off, talking about, oh, Tracy poisoned Monica against me. And see, he keeps talking as if Monica wasn't her own person, like she didn't have a mind of her own. You can't poison Monica against anybody. If Monica kicked him off the property, that's because Monica wanted to do that. It had nothing to do with anybody else. She did that shit because she wanted to. Everything she did was because she wanted to. You can't poison her against anybody. She has a mind of her own, and he talks as if she doesn't. That goes to show Drew never knew her. Drew never knew her like he claimed he does. And I love that he finally realized that he will never be a Quartermaine. He never was and will never be one of them. So this bastard wants to sit here and talk about some, oh, Michael was always the golden child and he took everything away from me. What did he take from you? He didn't take anything from you, Delulu. Ugh, these narcissistic, delusional ass people. Like, he's such an idiot. So now he want to frame Michael. He want to tell the PCPD that Michael was the one that shot him so he could put him in prison. That's something that really disgusted me, and I'm gonna tell you why. Drew knew what happened to Michael when he first went to prison back in the day, like years ago for that Claudia situation. He knew what happened to Michael back then. Why would you purposely want to put him back in the system like that, knowing what the trauma he went through back then? Why? You know how disgusting that makes you look? Like that, I'm telling you, this man has dethroned the devil and literally just took over hell. He just did a hostile takeover of hell. Because you got to be worse than the devil to do that to somebody when you know their history. You know what I mean? Like, you lower than scum. Way lower than scum. Like, that's gross. And for Martin to sit here and tell Drew, oh, you should be putting all your anger towards Tracy or whatever. She the one that kicked you out and did this. He talking about, she gonna get it too. And of course they talking about, how the Quartermaine legacy is so important to Tracy, and they want it to crumble or whatever. I'm guessing whatever is going to happen with this will reading and with Erica Slazak's character being on the show, Martin orchestrated it, because remember that letter that he took from the house that was, had Monica's name on it. He kept that, and he made a phone call that day, recently. So I'm pretty sure it's all in one, because he's so confident that Tracy's gonna be brought down. So I'm pretty sure he knows what's gonna happen. Because he still wants to make Tracy pay or whatever, because he still blame her for his little back issues or whatever. I'm like, you need to get over it, Dusty. Get over it. You're responsible for your own back issues, you moron. And he wants to sit here and still do Drew's bidding. That's on him. He's as dumb as Drew. Like, these people are in mourning right now. Y'all worried about taking them down when they just lost somebody very close to them? Like, how absurd. It's not gonna work, because even if they slightly succeed with whatever little plan they got cooking up, it's not gonna last. It won't last long. But yeah, I swear I love Tracy and her friendship with Stella. But it's so funny how Tracy doesn't like to be vulnerable, because she was like, yeah, don't tell the family, what we talking about and all this about how I feel. I'm like, the family know you love them. They know it. You give people a hard time, but that's your love language. But I feel bad for Tracy, though, because she just don't know who she is without Monica. It's like she's the last one standing, from her generation. Alan's gone. Her mom's gone. Edward's gone. Luke gone. Now Monica's gone. It's like she's the last outlaw. She's the last one. And she just don't know how to move forward without Monica. just the same, and it's like she has to do this all over again because every time somebody important passed, she had to figure out how to live life without that person being there. So now she has to do it all over again. And I get it. I see why she's so tired of funerals and stuff. I don't get it, but I thought it was brave of her to get up and speak, even though she initially didn't want to, but she admitted, she was like, no, because if I don't, I'll regret it. So I'm glad she realized that and she decided to talk on it. Good for her. But anyway, this was a damn good episode. I enjoyed it. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Peace.